Alright, so if we read our little intro here, we know that the Egyptians built pyramids. So we have a right square pyramid that has a square base and 4 isosceles triangles that make up the lateral faces. Okay, does anybody remember what an isosceles triangle is?
No.
2 sides are congruent. That third side is not the same length, though. Okay. So your square pyramid has a base and then your 4 isosceles triangles that make up your lateral faces. Okay. The lateral surface area is the sum of the areas of all its lateral faces. And then we have the height of each lateral face, which is called the slant height. And we're actually going to denote that with a cursive L. Okay. So if you have your pyramid, your lateral faces are all the, like if I have my pyramid right here, they're all these faces. So this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, and then your base. Okay. So those are your lateral faces. So this line, I know it's kind of hard to see where it's pointing. It's pointing right there. That is going to be a lateral face. And then you have your slant height, which is the height of that lateral face. So it is not the height of the pyramid. It's the height from the tip of your pyramid to the center of the base of that triangle, of that side. So it's the height of just that side face. Does that make sense? So this little dotted line, it's going from the tip all the way to the side. That is your slant height. So it is not the height from the tip of the point to the middle of your base. It is the height from the tip to the middle of the base of the sides. Okay. All right, so we have the pyramid, and then we have what's called a net of that pyramid, which is basically if I take this pyramid right here and I fold it, like unfold it and flatten it out. Okay, so if I take the tip of this triangle and I pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, and make a 2D object, what would it be? Okay, so I know that my base is a square, so I know I'm going to have a square in there somewhere, right? So the middle of that is going to be a square. So right here in the middle, I'm going to draw my square, which is my base. And then what is it going to look like if I take one of these triangles and I pull it down?
It's going to have a triangle.
There's going to be a triangle on each side.
Right. There's going to be a triangle on each side, but is the tip of that triangle going to be on the square, or is it going to be the flat side?
Flat.
The flat side, right? It's going to look like this. So that is the net of a square pyramid. Okay. So it's how it looks if you were to flatten it all out. Unfold it and flatten it. Okay, go ahead and flip over. Let's figure out how we can actually find the surface area of this pyramid. Alright, so we've got lateral area, which it tells us the lateral surface area, which we will denote LA, of a regular pyramid is half of the perimeter, capital P, of the base, or perimeter of the base, times the slant height. So that capital P is standing for the perimeter of the base. Does anybody remember how to find the perimeter? Add all the sides. Excuse me, add all the sides together. So if I want to find the perimeter of this base, my base is a rectangle or a square. That means I would add each side together, and that would give me capital P. Okay. And then remember, my slant height is this cursive L, which it tells me right here, it's pointing to this dotted line that's going from the tip of the pyramid to the side of the face, the lateral face. Okay. So to find the lateral area, I would take 1/2 of the perimeter times the slant height. But to find the total surface area, which is what we will mainly be doing, you add the lateral area to the capital B, which is what? What is capital B again? The what? It's not the base. It's the area of the base. Okay. So you have to remember that capital B is the area of the base. So if you add that to your lateral area, then you have the surface area. Okay. But I want everybody to circle that second formula, because that is what we are going to be using mainly. So we're going to say that surface area is capital B, which is area of the base, plus 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the slant height. Okay. All right, so we've got another picture of our regular pyramid and then the net of that pyramid, which this is a little bit easier to picture the slant height and the lateral face. Okay, so of course our lateral faces are these triangles, and then that slant height, it is just the height of that side triangle. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and skip over to the back and let's look at some examples. If you look at example number 1, we are finding the total surface area of the pyramid and rounding. Okay, so I've got a pyramid over here. My formula is capital B plus 1/2 capital P times cursive L. So to find capital B, that's the area of the base. What is the shape of this base?
Square.
A square. And how do I find the area of that? Length times width. So capital B is 4 times 4, which I get 16. Plus 1/2 times capital P. How do I find capital P again? Add all the sides. So if this is 4, that means all these sides are 4, right? So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 gives me 16. Times my slant height, which is right here, which is 9. Okay. So then, of course, you have to multiply over here first and then add that to your area at the base. You get 88 square inches. Okay, so this is area, so we are still in square units. What is different about example 1 and example 2? Yeah, one's a rectangular pyramid and one's a triangular pyramid, right? So to find capital B would be a little bit different over here, right? How would I find capital B for this one? 1/2 base times height, or base times height divided by 2. Okay, but in this case, I don't know what the height of that base is, so they went ahead and told me that the area of that base is 111. So you just have to plug that 111 in for capital B, and then add it to your lateral area, which is 1/2 times P times L. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, let's go ahead and skip down to to letter A, and let's do that one. Let's find the surface area of a square pyramid that has a slant height of 8 centimeters and a base length of 5 centimeters. So it's a square pyramid, so I know that the base is a square. And then they told me that the base length, it has a base length of 5 centimeters. So since it's a square and the length is 5, does that mean the width is 5 as well? Yes. And I'm going to come up here and do my work over here to the side because there is not enough room. Okay, so if I'm finding the surface area, what's my formula again?
Base times 1/2 perimeter times 1.
Good. Area of the base times 1/2, or plus 1/2, times the perimeter of the base times the slant height. Okay. So how am I going to find capital B in this case? 5 times 5, because my base is a square, and each side length is 5.
But it's now time for the golf team to be dismissed. It is now time for the golf team to be dismissed. Thank you.
Okay, now how can I find capital P? 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 5 times 4, right? So what does that give me? 20. And then what was my slant height?
8 centimeters.
It tells me in the problem that it has a slant height of 8 centimeters.
Sorry, guys. I need the softball team to be dismissed at this time also.
Okay, so 5 times 5 I know is 25. Plus 1/2 times 20 times 8. What is that? 80. I need some more class participation. Somebody else tell me what 25 plus 80 is.
105.
Thank you. 105. So my surface area is 105 what? Centimeters squared. Any questions about that? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at example B. Find the total surface area of the pyramid shown. So now I still have the same exact formula. I've got capital B plus 1/2 capital P times my slant height. In this case, what shape is my base here? A triangle. So how am I going to find capital B?
Base times height is equal to
Good. So what is my base? My base is 12. What is the height? 10.4. That right there is pointing to that dotted line. So it's 10.4. So that's capital B. Now I need to find capital P. So how do I find capital P? You just add all those sides up. So here's 12 plus 12 plus 12. So what is 12 plus 12 plus 12? 36. So capital P is 36. And then what is my slant height? 15. And is that dotted line right there? Okay, so what is 1/2 times 12 times 10.4? 62.4. And then add that to 1/2 times 36 times 15. What is that? 270. And then finally, what is my total surface area? Good. 332.4 what? Henry, quit. Meters squared. Any questions about that? All right, you are doing numbers 1 through 12 for homework. You have to show some work. I was very lenient with your surface area prisms packet. Because if you notice my packet, I had tons of work shown. And a lot of you just had like 1 or 2 numbers written down. I'm not going to be that lenient on this packet. You have got to show me some work. Okay, get started. You have a good bit of time. You should be able to finish this.